Hey there guys, this is Obsidian Chill. Got another video for today. And in this one we're taking a look at the brand new character creation screen, a part of DC Universe Online. This is presently on the test server with a to be determined release date. The character creation screen has been something around since the very beginning of the game. It definitely needed a refresh to make the game not so much look like a game that came out in 2011, but a game that came out closer in the 2000s. While we have that graphical increase and the next-gen console release coming in either later December or early 2024. So that's something to look forward to as well, and that's most likely in preparation with this new character creation screen. So in terms of the character menu here, we have the presets available: Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman, Joker, Cersei, Lex Luthor, Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, Martian Manhunter, Steel, Catwoman, Mr. Freeze, Bane, The Flash, Beast Boy, Deathstroke, Terra, Static, Green Lantern, Sinestro, Atrocitus, Captain Atom, the Spectre, Firestorm, and Mara. A lot of these presets were already in the older screen, but we do have their styles kind of refreshed as well as the character models here. So it's much more customization offered, especially new games that have come out most recently. A lot of emphasis is placed on the character creation and the customization. A lot of players prefer that rather than just having just a kind of a sea of presets. So the other option here as well, or the other feature, you'll see each kind of preset as well breaks down what they actually are. So Wonder Woman, we're looking at a hero, abilities mental, damage controller and damage, brawling, movement mode flight, and it gives a brief kind of description. So if we're going to create a new character, we have male or female, athletic, spry and large. We have alignment, hero and villain. Personality, same before: powerful, serious, primal, flirty, comical. We have mentor, Batman, Wonder Woman, or Superman. In terms of if you're a new player watching this, and a lot of this is directed for new players, just so you're watching this video and kind of get an experience of what the character creation menu is and how to successfully navigate it. These mentors don't matter much in the long run. During the leveling story, there are some missions that are specific to your mentor, but once you kind of get, not even to endgame, but once you reach level 30, the mentors aren't going to really be applicable. It's more just a personal preference at that point. During the leveling 0 to 30, which doesn't take that long in terms of if you're comparison, like you could easily level 0 to 30 in a weekend or even a day, depending on how dedicated you are and if you get help from teammates or open world players. But don't put too much emphasis or worry about this. It's more a personal choice. But there will be some mission specific opportunities. So we're going to pick Batman. Abilities. This menu, this is where I take issue with some of the new character creation screen. So each ability you're going to break down here, you're going to see complexity and kind of a brief overview of what it is. So gadgets, it says complexity is high, sorcery is standard, mental standard, nature is high, fire is simple, ice is standard, munitions is simple, electricity is simple, quantum is standard, earth is high, celestial is very high, light is high, rage is very high, water is high, atomic is very high. First of all, ignore these completely arbitrary descriptions of the power sets. Water is not just as hard as gadgets, and nor is fire, in terms of ice being standard. Fire is even easier than ice to play. Munitions, same thing. I mean, there's different things. Even look at the description. Strong area damage with extra damage opportunities from inflicting electrified. That's just talking about a power action. Power actions, you get a base 10% damage increase, which is not that much in comparison. As well, each power set has multiple power actions. So if you're talking about opportunities from inflicting electrified, if you inflict polarized, you still get the same amount of damage from increase from polarized, but they don't mention that. Munitions, power costly burst damage. It's one move. It's called mini nuke. You'll see it's the highest base power cost in the game. It's one power. The rest of munitions is extremely power conservative. And then let's look at some of these other ones. So what was nature's here, or mentals? So extra damage opportunities from inflicting daze or terrified. They're just talking about PI. On unique stealth abilities. That'd be the same for gadgets. But ironically, they mention mental as unique stealth abilities, but then don't mention that for gadgets. Gadgets is extra damage opportunities from both your own and group members' abilities. Once again, that's just talking about partner actions. So don't base your power set choice on any of these arbitrary descriptions because they're meaningless. Most of the time, you have more damage. When you factor in like artifacts and allies, you're getting more damage from not using power interactions most of the time. And same thing, rage is very high compared to like light. It's drastically easier to learn rage, especially in lower tier content where you can melee. But I know a lot of these concepts might be going in your head, especially if you're new players watching this. But the main takeaway is that when it says complexity and the description, just ignore that. Make a personal choice if you want. I mean, some of it where it says, like light and celestial, it says follow-up weapon combos that perform cleansed or follow-up weapon combos to perform additional light abilities. They're not weapon combos. Light is construct and celestial is combos. You're not even tapping your weapon. You're just tapping either your mouse or your gamepad. You're not doing weapon combos. It's just continuing the combo chain from the initial ability. That's like saying Earth Jackhammer would be a follow-up weapon attack. It's not. And water. Extra damage opportunities when High Tide is activated. High Tide is actually the most useless ability water has. So you would be doing less damage, drastically less damage, if you were using High Tide abilities. But like I said, not going to spend too much time on that. Just make your personal choice. You can do some research on YouTube if you want. You can certainly watch my channel and go through the guides. There's many of them over years. There hasn't been that many changes if you like a power set. Or if you're, doing like a cosplay build where you want to be sorcerer, you want to be like a Gadget's Batman. Make the decision based on your personal preferences, not what it's telling you here. So let's just pick gadgets, for example. And now we're going to weapon, which is my same argument. So weapon, they have dual pistols, simple, rifle, standard, hand blast, standard, bow, standard, brawling, simple, martial arts, standard. One-handed high, that's crazy. One-handed is the easiest weapon to use in the game. Two-handed, complexity high. Like, two-handed and one-handed, there's major difference between. Two-handed is super slow with a fast interrupt. Fast interrupt is just a weapon tap or a lunge. The two-handed combos are super slow, all backloaded damage, where one-handed is super fast, quick, and they're both the same high complexity. Dual wield, very high. Dual wield, once again, dual wield, you're going to see the most, if you're a weapon-based damage player right now, dual wield is the number one weapon to use. Very high. It's not very high. Staff, very high. Shield, very high. But once again, base your choices on your personal preferences, not what the description is, because they're completely arbitrary, and I have no idea what kind of ranking system they're using. Dual pistol is not simple. Dual pistol has the worst combos and the worst attacks out of any weapon by far, and it's simple. So costume, this is where we have much more breakdown. This is where most people focus on. I was focusing on weapons and abilities because that's where I focus on, or that's where my bias is, you could say. If you're going to watch a video like this from Multiverse, then you're probably going to spend a lot more time on the costume breakdown. So skin, obviously, we have different skins that we can use. Hair, we got multiple choices as well. Much more expanded choices compared to the other menus. In terms of chest styles, we can probably change the skin. The demonic skin's not that good for that. I'm plain. We're just going to go human. In terms of back styles. And the other thing as well for new players, all these styles that you see in these menus, they're easily earned after the fact in game as well. They're all part of it's called vendors, but there's all these available on style vendors. Most of them are purchasable by tiny bit of currency. So if you're kind of torn between these styles, like you want to be a battle mage style, and then you pick one and you want to actually be something else, you got the option to pick that. So you can kind of go through your emblems as well, hands. Legs, feet, everything. And then once you hit play, it's going to take you to a screen where it's going to summarize what you've selected, and the large thing being your name. Before, that's the one interesting aspect. Before, the name was the primary focus on what it was on the previous character screen. You had it right in the middle of the page, a lot of emphasis on the name creation, but now it's kind of out of the way, which is maybe just a personal preference, but I mean, a name is a large part. I mean, you see player names in games selling for like real life currency. So names is something heavily focused on by players in this game. So you think it'd have a bit more emphasis in terms of just being in the top or left-hand corner of your screen. So let's just say test tune. Name's already taken. So then if I add something extra digits, you'll see that green check mark. The play will come up. Then of course you're going to be granted with some microtransactions at the start. So a CR level boost, skip to CR 100, which basically takes you through early endgame. So select this option to skip directly to level 30 and gain your equipment. And then we have CR boost, skip to 333, which is the default character skip token available. And you can see here it's going to be cost some currency. And no thanks, just play or skip the tutorial. In this case, I want to play because I'm going to show you the brand new tutorial, which is going to be the next follow-up video. So we'll see you in the next video, guys.
Earth.